Hello and welcome all prospective listeners to episode 5 of Redeye Airwaves. That's staying in. No new cuts. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Uh, Today we're going to talk about chapter 5 called Blessing of the Stripes. And as most chapters are aptly named, doesn't come in till later. I am Vex Tosca, joined by my co-hosts Kairos,
Hello?
Yalsarian,
Howdy.
and the fourth voice that sits in the back of our minds. This format for today is going to be a little bit different because we've all been extremely busy, as you all might be able to tell by our lack of consistent uploading. We don't really remember too terribly much from the chapter, so we're just going to talk about the things that we do remember. As a kind of first prompt, I unironically loved the crazy cult. I just immediately knew what was up. I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna shove him into a pot or something. They're gonna put him in a room with a glowy rock and infect him. Uh,
Why was that your first thought?
because ghouls living out in the middle of nowhere. Given that most of Fallout Equestria is a Fallout 3 allegory, there's the Church of Adam, and the Church of Adam is batshit crazy, and they're around the bomb and megatons just worshipping it and doing a little jig. I knew I knew this would be a perfect allegory for it, and it was.
I particularly enjoy the part where basically they offered him a solution to his problems, but he decided against them. It's interesting exactly what led to.
I was kind of hoping he took it.
Yeah, I was wishing for him to
He
turn.
almost did.
That is the sad twist. Well, I'm sorry. There's several sad twists every chapter, of course. But the sad twist this chapter is that Murky is deader than dead. He's got a week left. Is it like a week? I think it's a week.
I think so, something like that. That would mean that everything else happening has to be, time diluted.
So, considering that, I think we have. I don't know. Do we have more than a week worth of book left?
I don't know. I feel like this could be a week. I'm willing to make that gamble.
I'll bet you $10 reduce.
I'm gonna.
But it is?
I'm gonna go maybe with maybe Protege has an FEV drug or something. Maybe in the new stable they go to is like, hey, slam this in your mouth. It'll cure you. What are you all hedging your bets on?
You mean what we're gonna find in the stable?
I mean, how does Murky survive this? Because now he had a week before, and then he rolled around in his little pod for a bit, soaked up that good juju.
Well, actually, about that point, I seem to recall the ghoul doctor they find in the basement. He said that specific healing mega spell won't heal his taint. I find that interesting because, first of all, this story was written after Fort Equestria was finished, and I've assumed the Sunshine and Rainbow's Garden of Equestria mega spell killed everyone from taint and cleared it.
I mean, I thought that didn't mega spells bring people back from the dead?
Yeah. So
Can't it fix a little taint?
the discrepancy there, I think, is that the magic radiation is something that the mega spell could fix, but the taint is that the alicorn virus that was used to turn people into alicorns, and that can't be reversed with something as simple as a healing spell. And since mega spells are just a normal spell on uber steroids, it's not gonna be enough to change you back once you've been physically altered.
What about 2 healing spells?
I mean, I don't know. You're pushing it there. You're getting close.
I mean, I don't know. I really was hoping he'd become a ghoul. It would have been a very interesting twist on everything.
Well, I mean, he can still become a ghoul. Maybe that's how he gets out of it.
That is true. So, not only does he have a weak, now he's got a whole bunch of radiation, and taint fester in his lungs somewhere. Like 2 days.
Well, he has more allies now. Brimstone as a bodyguard. The ghoul, I forgot his name, as his personal healer.
Weathervane, I think.
Yep, Dr. Weathervane.
Weathervane's got Frankenstein in his basement, which is probably a glowing one. I just only hedge my bets it's a glowing one.
I mean,
Most
yeah, I
likely.
think there was a glowing light under the door, and then just screaming. Weathervane actually had a name for him too, but I don't remember it.
I can quickly leaf through. So, an interesting thing. I wonder. I don't. When I said I read the last 10 pages, I lied. I've missed the last 3 pages. Does he get a reward for bringing the filly back?
Let me quickly check.
You'd think I'd remember the very end of the book, or the very end of the chapter, but that was so long ago.
My God, it has been some time.
I mean, Protege basically met him at the crater, an area where he wasn't supposed to be, and
Yeah,
basically at the end he thanked him. He was by his bedside, tending to his healing him
Ah,
ish.
I feel like that was
here's your reward. Thanks.
Well, he was they kind of Protege let him off for breaking out, which is kind of a big deal for a slave to break out, and then I think Protege might have had a hand in getting him the care that he received.
Definitely.
I mean, what does this make it? 2 for 2? That Murky just wanders where he's not supposed to be. In all consideration, he really is a bad slave.
Yeah,
He steals.
Yeah, he steals.
He spreads muck all over.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm scared as to where this conversation is about to begin heading.
Does Murky get mucky?
I was referring to the sewer he dipped in.
I hedge my bets that he also rolls around another sewer before this is through. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe even 2 sewers. So I need to ask Fuzzy if he intentionally did this. But the concept of a radiation trap in Fallout is actually not in Fallout 3 until you find the Church of Adam, a part of the Broken Steel DLC, and it's a one-off trap. In Fallout New Vegas, it's never shown again, and in Fallout 4, it's shown only in the Nuka World DLC at a very specific point. Outside of just glowing barrels that give you radiation, specific radiation traps aren't used. And so this machine, the pod machine reminded me of that, kind of.
I mean, there's the whole water purifier. That's a radiation trap.
Big mood.
see, I feel like these are Fallout game references that I don't get because I never played.
You gotta play Fallout New Vegas.
You gotta play Fallout 3.
No.
Yeah. Vegas.
No.
Play Fallout 3 first, and then New Vegas, so you don't
Yes.
you have an increase.
Exactly. You'll see the a certain vision of it, and then you'll see a better vision of it.
Alright, so to stray away from the video game debates and back to Murky.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In Fallout 3, this very closely mirrors a cult called the Church of Adam, and Megaton has an undetonated nuclear bomb in the middle. The Church of Adam basically, there's just a when you first enter the city, there's a preacher standing in the water talking about how you can be purified by the light. And it was very reminiscent of the pastor and his zebra robes, which is interesting. How did they learn zebra? Even Merc notes that.
So they speak
So-
common tongue?
Well, they I believe the book notes that they're chanting in zebra, and I think that either the pastoral leader of the zebra cult or Weathervane himself mentions that the leader of the cult is a former associate of his from back in the because the whole zebra cult takes place within a medical facility that was most likely used during the war and that Weathervane used to work at. That's why he knows about it and knows where it is and knows what to look for to find it. And so I guess it's just one of his former colleagues, and his colleague knew, or somebody knew that had been around since the war. And
Well,
so they
considering
teach it.
sorry,
The,
Sorry. Considering it's a medical facility, they might have treated prisoners of war or anything else. You know.
That's possible. They did have all the security gates to get down there, so it could have been for war prisoners.
pony in the closet could be a zebra glowing one.
That would be interesting.
That'd be very interesting.
I like how Murky just hears a foreign language and he's just immediately thinks, ah, zebra.
Yeah, I mean, what else would speak such an evil tongue?
What are the notable things this chapter?
Well, I'm curious to see what the stable will bring.
I mean, there was also the entire front half of the chapter where they originally go to the hospital before they visit the crater, where Murky.
Curses.
Oh, that's right. They do that. They do this long. I don't want to describe it as long and drawn out because that sounds bad, but it definitely took a very long time to play out between Brimstone and Murky, where Murky has never said anything like profane.
Ever.
Murky's a wholesome Christian pony.
I like that part. It was cute.
It was very enjoyable.
Doesn't he end up not even cursing too?
Yeah, he manages to say fudge, and Brimstone calls him a sunlicker, which I think is my favorite insult from Fallout Equestria in total so far.
What element would Murky be at this point?
Cowardice?
No.
Well, I
No, he
tried.
stood up straight.
Maybe kindness?
Well, I would say either that or generosity.
So we're talking about the guy who very, very nearly, I guess it's something that he didn't actually do it, but he was about to steal the only medicine that would save the life of someone who was dying.
I mean, more or less, they're very, corrupted virtues.
Could be loyalty as well.
I know, if I remember correctly, Fallout Equestria, KCAT instituted her own with, I think it was like Hope, and then, corrupted version of Hope. And Murky might just be his own quote-unquote element, more or less, and then a corrupted version of it.
I mean, I know that she used the element of honesty and then the a corrupted honesty. So I think she used the original elements, but I don't know. It's been a very long time.
I believe she did use the original elements and gave every single one a corrupted version. And I agree. I think
I am smooth
Murky
brain.
is hope.
I'm due for a second reread of FOE.
It's a good book. You should read it.
Oh wow, thank you.
I mean, I kind of want to, but I don't have that much time.
Yeah. So why is the Silver Sphere has a pedestal in the church? Why is a Megaspell just sitting in a church, like just chilling out?
They use it as a reminder of their past and
Was
of
it
the sins of their past, really.
Was it there beforehand? That's what I'm like angling at. Or was it just chilling out in this church pre-war?
I think they took it.
Yeah. Maybe it was housed in the same facility and they decided to make a shrine for it.
What is this facility? Is it just a...
I mean...
Okay, it's not really a backup hospital considering it's got battle saddles and an armory. It's well fortified. It's got the fucking radiation chamber. It's got a church inside. It's got nice furniture.
Someone want to build a bunker?
That would be.
Again, I think it was a maybe a hospital for prisoners
with an armory.
That would make sense. I mean, if you need like to kill all the prisoners.
Yeah, I mean the soldiers would have to have, because their armory was like a closet.
Quell any insurrection.
Yeah, so.
But shouldn't you keep weapons away from prisoners of war?
Well, I would assume that the prisoners would have been kept in cells, like behind the massive gate, where they kept the his horde of feral ghouls. I would assume that would be the old prisoners' quarters, and then everything more towards the front would be for the guards.
Sharing is caring, but sharing with bullets. One odd note is when the Magister spazzes out when Murky is stealing his passion project. He yells out, "You will not take my child, she is ours. They told me I needed to do this." As I was reading that, stuck out to me a little bit.
He mentioned hearing something before, or like moving under orders. Although I'm pretty sure those are just the voices in his very irradiated brain.
It could be Alicorn stuff, because Trixie is still... I think it was a Trixie?
Yep.
I think Trixie's still alive by this point.
Yep. I mean, the moment Trixie dies is basically when Operation Cauterize happens, and that hasn't happened yet.
Oh gosh, I really need to reread Fall Equestria.
Yeah,
it's good.
And Philadelphia falls during, towards the beginning of Operation Carterize, because that's when Redeye moves everything to his secondary base.
Secondary, but
I didn't get it all the way out. I tried, but I stopped myself short.
Redeye has backup butts in the forest.
I mean, he's half mechanical anyway. He might have a spare butt. I stand by what I said.
You also sit by it?
Oh no.
Alright, you win. I'm done.
Additionally, wow, we know who Murky's father is.
No, we don't.
I totally believe it.
I don't think so.
That would probably be the single most soul-crushing thing that the book will be capable of. I think if that's the case, that's the that is the one punch to the throat that they'll never be able to one-up.
But he could just, either not believe it or say, okay, but, I'm not like you, blah, blah.
I'm just waiting for him to get the news that his mother's dead or something. Like a letter comes floating from the sky and it says, "Fuck you, your mom's dead."
So should we address what it is we're talking about with Murky's father, and like actually explain that just in case
Oh no.
Sure.
everyone is not following along?
No, fuck the viewers.
Oh, okay.
So at one point, the master basically leans into Murky. I think was this after the roll call or before the roll call?
Before, I believe.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of one-on-one time before, because I know Chainlink pulls him aside. Yeah, when he's on his way back in. So I think it would be before.
The master had made a trip out to a general goods store, purchased a mirror, and he's just like giddily laughing to himself. He's like, "Oh, Murky's gonna love this." Goes to Murky and shows Murky that they have the same colored eyes, light green.
And a similar facial structure.
I mean,
They looked similar,
I
or at least the book described them as looking similar.
I know they do, but like beaten face, I think is pretty common in Philadelphia by this point.
I don't think the master gets his face beaten too often.
Maybe when he was young?
That's interesting. Did the master have a childhood?
I don't think so. I think he just spawned one day. And there was a lack of Murky suffering in the world, and so the world dictated that more Murky suffering had to be created, and he appeared.
I mean, that makes as much sense as anything else, I guess.
Brimstone held off on killing that Philly. And I know I'm jumping from topic to topic. If y'all want to stay longer on one, I'm just gonna rattle off the things my brain brings up. But
Yeah, go ahead.
I wonder, like Brimstone mentions that he is reforming because of Glimmer, and he is just so very close to breaking if Glimmer doesn't make it. But I wonder if Glimmer is, fixed, quote unquote. If he will like truly reform. He very nearly killed a slave in the pit that they were wandering through, but he did hold off. I fully expected him just to like shove the rebar through the mare's head and just kill her, but nope.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay.
They're going to
Yeah, I think that Glimmerlight's gonna pull through, and that Brimstone is definitely gonna turn over a new leaf, and then he's gonna slip up, because I think they're gonna have that failed redemption arc.
Did Glimmer know about Brimstone's backstory? I don't know if it's been mentioned so far. I'm assuming like she could figure the big guy with tribal tattoos and murder.
Yeah, I would assume that it's that she would be aware of it.
He has the word. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think she'll get better. He'll turn a new leaf, as you said, and then she'll be used as a bargaining chip against him, and probably die. And then he'll discover he will not go on a rampage because he's a better man for her.
Or he just goes on a total murder spree.
Possibly.
That would be interesting if something like that happened and he ended up getting killed because of his rampage. And so like there was a long dying moment between him and Murky where he deeply regretted having given into it because there was still, stuff left for him to do. And or someone else that needed his protection.
Like Murky.
Yeah. But then he ends up dead anyway.
Maybe Brimstone is Murky's dad.
That would be a very bizarre turn of events.
Maybe
I don't know how Murky would cope with that.
A great twist.
I definitely would not see it coming.
So, what do you think will be in the stable?
Death.
I personally hope it's It's a small secret society of Pegasus. That'll be very interesting to see.
I think it'll be crazed medical robots that will give Murky iron lungs.
The good kind?
I mean, cumbersome but functional. That's the only way I can describe them.
Better than what he has now.
Yeah, a lot better. And then they're gonna try and chop the rest of him up.
Who needs wings anyway?
I don't know. Like, do you think Murky will ever be able to fly?
Only metaphorically.
I can't comment.
Why?
I have sadly been spoiled on that particular point.
Oh,
Oh, cyber wings. That's no fun.
yeah.
I can't say anything.
Either that or he gets another dose of taint and his wings magically expand.
Now, can we talk to the one thing that stuck up and pissed me the hell off? Murky picks up a plasma pistol or energy pistol, whatever, and he's like, "Oh, this is so light." But in Fallout 3, a plasma pistol weighs the exact same as a 10mm pistol. It does not weigh less. This is a lore inconsistency, and it's wrong.
Okay.
3 pounds. It weighs 3 pounds.
Again, I've never played the games. I have no idea how much the guns weigh.
I
You
think
just said 3 pounds.
I need to see how much a laser pistol weighs too.
But why do you know that? That's my question. My
played-
concern is why have you memorized the weapon weight stats?
You must immerse yourself within.
Does this count as immersion?
I've played a tad too much
How long is too much?
of Fallout.
What is the hour count that you're at? Like 2,000?
So,
8,000?
Fallout 3, I would like to say 1,000, but if I had to be very exact in like serious time that I actually remember, probably 500. Fallout New Vegas is around 300. Fallout 4 is around 200. Fallout 76 is around 100.
Why?
So I would say probably
Fun.
1,000 hours in total across all games.
Now that's total immersion.
But I haven't played Fallout 1 and 2, so I guess I'm not a true Fallout fan. That is true.
You're not a true Fallout fan unless you played Fallout Brotherhood or Tactics. I can't remember which one.
Actually, what I could say is, what if Murky's just pushed off a building? Does that constitute as flying?
Yes.
No.
It's falling with style.
It's falling with character.
I believe a very important requirement to flying is falling towards the ground and missing. I don't think he'll miss.
Very true.
I mean, even birds come down to the ground every once in a while. Yet they still fly. We consider them to fly. So I think he can fly if he falls off of a building and
Given his body
does it with
mass
style.
to size ratio, what's the terminal velocity of one Murky?
Well, to do that, I'd have to calculate drag, and no.
Well, he doesn't have any wings, so you can assume it's negligible.
Well, I'll concede to your definition of flying only if he flies twice.
Okay, so we gotta push him off 2 buildings. I like where this is going.
Reminds me of, there's a Secret Agent Bob video where little elephant character gets smashed by a chandelier, and the first 10 seconds of the video and the next 3 minutes is just him laying there in complete silence, dead. That's what happens with Murky when he slides to the ground. Complete
I don't
silence.
know what you're talking about.
And the book just talks about him laying there for a straight hour, dead.
It's just 6 pages of him laying on the ground.
And that's the ending of the book. That's it. That's
Try
all,
60.
folks. If that's not the canon ending, I will go write a superior canon ending. Radix also lasting 30 minutes is interesting. I don't even remember if Fallout Equestria established Radix lasts that long.
That was mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gave him a specific duration.
Oh right, the ticking time bomb ish to get out of the cradle.
In Fallout 3, it lasts for 4 minutes, but I'm not sure what 4 minutes is in Fallout 3 time.
So
I believe 1 second is a minute.
yeah, in the Bethesda games that I'm aware of, 1 minute in real time is 1 hour in game, so that would be 4 in-game hours.
Yeah. I knew that. It seemed a little short to me. Also another lore inconsistency. Terrible. Must be rewritten.
Well, I
Completely.
think that that one can be excused because of Murky's condition and the severity of the radiation in the area that he's going to.
Yeah.
Imagine Murky goes to the doctor and the doctor says, "What's your medical history?" And he opens his mouth and ticker tape begins to come out very slowly as it prints out onto a long list on the floor.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Excellent.
I was enriched by this description.
Yeah, I mean, my life has been forever altered.
So, what else? Anything else y'all were interested in this chapter? Kind of sticks out in your memory.
I liked Weathervane. He was a cool character. Very different than Murky. It was previously established that Murky doesn't curse, and he curses all the time. He's a ghoul, and Murky's not. He helps people. Murky doesn't.
Outside of Glimmerlight, he's also, I think, the first. Well, outside of Glimmerlight and the unnamed pony, I think Weathervane's just the first good character that Murky has met that's been able to provide him with help. Which is a nice.
Are you saying that Brimstone hasn't helped him and/or is not good?
Also Prodigy.
I don't know how I feel about Prodigy. I still feel like Prodigy is like mega evil.
Well, currently he believes in in Redeye's goals, and he's actually trying to help. So
I know, like
less evil.
Philosophically, Murky's like, huh, he's got a point. But I don't know. It could definitely go both ways. I suppose they are working for a goal. That's always why I side with the Slavers in the Pit DLC.
I actually haven't played that yet.
You need to. It's probably one of the better DLCs of Fallout 3.
I haven't really played any of the DLCs in Fallout 3.
Philadelphia is basically just a reflection of that because Fallout Equestria is totally original and does not take anything from any other source material. But, which is the thing that I like about Fallout Equestria, don't get me wrong. I love seeing all the references and knowing exactly what they are, but at the same time, nothing's inspired. In Fallout 3, the Pit DLC, basically Philadelphia, not Philadelphia, is being rebuilt with on the backs of slavers and raiders. A lord over the raiders called Asher is utilizing hundreds and hundreds of slaves and just being terrible to them, essentially like Redeye is, to rebuild Philadelphia for a better future. Additionally, he's also trying to research cures and better medicine for the slaves in the background. Something that the DLC doesn't really let you know till later on. Spoilers. But
do you spoil it?
You are faced with an uncomfortable decision. Do you want to support the slavers?
Did you just spoil it?
Not really.
The DLC
Yeah,
Are you going back
for
to
a game that's been out for many years.
I just said I didn't play it.
Are you going to?
Were you going to?
Eventually,
Okay, well, I'm sorry. It is a
Okay.
point later
You,
on.
you two can duke that out then.
I won't tell you the specifics, but
I'm mildly annoyed.
he's researching stuff to help the slaves. But that's the morally gray decision: is do you want to help the slavers and the dude who's kind of like helping out, or do you want to help the slaves? But if they revolt, I mean, it's just more bloodshed, and you're basically throwing away any research that the slaver guy had collected. It's really reflected here in the exact same way because Redeye is he's keeping the Phillies under his protection. He's trying to work for a better tomorrow. He's working with the I don't know what is he getting out of the Alicorn deal.
Protection?
Enough time to bring his master plan to fruition.
So,
That was the bad part about Redeye. Didn't he just want to become like immortal himself?
No, he wanted a strong governing body that could actually lead everyone to the future that he envisioned, and he didn't believe that he was capable of doing it by himself. That's why he wanted one person from each of the races to be involved rather than just alicorns or just unicorns like what had happened with Trixie. And then he wanted them all to have strong personalities so they wouldn't just bend to his will the way that everyone was kind of consumed by Trixie's ego. Which is why he wanted to use the one Pegasus Commander and then Little Pip as his transformation fuel.
Which makes
and
him
have them all.
that makes him a Fallout 1 callback as well then. Hell, even Trixie is a Fallout 1 callback.
the true master.
Yeah. In Kairos, have you played Fallout 1?
No.
Are you familiar with it?
Also no.
So in Fallout 1, more spoilers for Fallout games, by the way. A super mutant by the name of the Master is one of the. I don't know if he's the first, but he's one of the first, like, generation. He's real old. He fell into a vat of FEV, became super mutated with a computer, like, just grew into it in some sort of pseudoscience synthetic way. And he wants to perfect super mutants, so he's just been stealing people, dunking them in acid, and, you know, trying to make his perfect army. But it's basically Trixie. It's some Cthulhu abomination that has mind powers and is creating a whole bunch of super mutants in an attempt to, you know, make a super race. Trixie is very much the master, just without the computer bits. Any other parts that were notable? We did the hospital, we did Weather Vane, we did a lot.
I found it interesting that even though he steals, Murky steals basically everything, he decided not to steal the medicine in the hospital and instead go the dangerous route where he could die to get it.
Well, I mean, he was going to steal it, and he was fully committed to stealing it, and then the dying mayor on the hospital bed started talking to him, thinking that he was the nurse because she couldn't see straight, and he kind of broke down.
Are you stealing an old lady's medication? Stop it, youngster.
She was that old. I think she was just terribly sick.
You're right. She was more like incoherent screeching.
Okay, yeah.
I thought he had the break. I thought he had the breakdown when he saw the patient, not while he was, not while the medicine itself was on the way.
I thought he had a background counter, and whenever it reaches 5 steps, he has a breakdown.
He stopped short because she was talking to him, but he does break down more properly, I guess. Like, he has a full breakdown when the nurse starts going off on him about, potentially killing her. Or how he would have killed her.
And the Murky's like, oh no, I'm a terrible human being. I am faced with the sudden reality of my actions.
I mean, I would say he is an extremely terrible human being as he is a pony.
You got me there. I cannot deny. I'm trying to think. Like, I obviously, safe to say, there's no happy outcome here. But I assume there are some vestige of happiness by the end of this book, and it's not just infinite sadness.
It can't be, because if it's infinite sadness, it will just be the baseline and won't be sad. It'll just be. It needs some happy sections, or it needs ups in order for there to be downs.
Should we start a running poll on who we expect to live by the end of the book?
A month.
Brimstone's gonna be dead.
Yeah, Brimstone's definitely be dead. He's gonna have one moment in like a blaze of glory where he says, "Murky, save yourself!" and then he dives in and explodes.
No, he's gonna tell Murky to save Glimmerlight, and then he's going to dive in and explode. And then Murky's gonna fail to save Glimmerlight, and then he's going to be depressed.
No, Murky's gonna go, "Oh God, no! Oh God!" And then
He'll
Glimmer
break down
just
again.
combusts into flames. And then the letter floats down from the sky. Murky opens it and it says, "Your mom's dead, fuck you."
Also, Shackles is your father.
Murky, I am your father. Yeah.
What was that city?
What
Oh.
city?
From Star Wars, where that happened?
Kashyyyk?
No.
Kamino?
No.
Naboo?
Those are both planets. No.
Tatooine.
Death Star.
Alright, never mind. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Death Star 2.
Nilfgaard.
Death Star 3, technically, with the new movies. Because they just keep building Death Stars and they keep getting blown up.
Right? It's like Halo rings at this point.
This podcast now contains spoilers for Star Wars that
And
everyone
Halo.
saw coming.
Because who would expect you to blow up the Halo ring when you first start playing Halo?
I mean,
Look, it's a first-person shooter action game from, the original Xbox era. There's no way the giant thing in space is going to blow up. That never happens.
It's impossible. Oh yeah, Surge of Ghouls. Did all the Surge of Ghouls get killed? Like I said, I didn't read the last 3 pages.
They got contained to the crater. They might have slinked back down into the hole. I'm pretty sure all the feral ones died, and then I know that the good doctor died.
Oh no.
Not Weatherbane, the other good doctor.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't care.
The zebra cult good doctor.
Oh no. I suppose you wouldn't be able to tell if a ghoul was previously a zebra, given their flesh is like faded and rotten off.
No, they got that zebra look to them. You can just tell.
They have different tails, I think.
Oh no. This is where the podcast strays into racial differences.
I'm just I'll
I
go
mean,
check with actual zebras and horses. Hold on.
darn it, I was gonna start pulling out some stereotypes, but I guess I'll have to put those aside for now.
I mean, I didn't really have a problem, Yas, when you joined in. You said the land to be cleared of all zebras, but like now it's a little problematic.
What?
Well, exactly. That's the only viable response. I don't know. Oh, flower pot. The ghoul's called flower pot. The ghoul that Weathervane keeps in his basement. It's called flower pot.
Ah, see, that was some trivia that I didn't know.
There was also another Pinkie Pie bait and switch, which I think Fuzzy is shooting for every chapter.
What?
He's listening to DJ Pone 3 on the radio, I think when he's crawling through the vents.
Yes.
Fallout through the fallout.
Till then, here's Pinkie Pie with You Gotta Share, You Gotta Care. My eyes jolted open, oh goddess, no, not even DJ Pone 3 had fallen to her. Aha, got you all. I'm just kidding, folks, here's Velvet Remedy. I think they do that every chapter where they reference one of like Pinkie's songs, I feel like.
It's
I
because
wonder if
he's in the fun farm and he's traumatized by the image of Pinkie Pie.
every chapter will have a reference to her, because she's watching you forever.
Wait, is this the chapter where he has the cuddle session with the Google in the office?
No,
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 that
that's the
was the
previous
last one.
That's the previous one? Okay. My brain's conking out.
right? It's been so long.
Oh, he also has got to get drugs for Barb now, and by drugs I mean explosives, and by explosives I mean drugs.
By explosives, I also mean explosives.
Yes, that. Like, why does everyone? Why does he just owe everyone money?
I mean, that's the weird thing. You think they wouldn't like nobody expects anything of him, and everybody thinks that he's useless. So then, why are people asking him for favors when they all think he's useless?
Ah, you look like a fine young fellow who can acquire explosives.
I mean, he is a sneaky little thief.
I suppose Barb has a reason, because Barb knows that Murky's been romping around outside.
Yeah,
And he even
But-
offers Murky something in return to teach him how to be sneaky. Which I'm sure will come in handy, like, immediately after he learns how to be more sneaky. It's hard to differentiate in novels when something is a genuinely interesting addition or something that's necessary for the next part of the plot to go off as well as it does.
All in all, I really enjoyed this chapter. Had some fun bits, some tense bits, some interesting bits. Many bits all around, especially blowing up bits.
but no flippy bits.
Last I counted, he has 0 money. Even negative money.
I mean, he could sell stuff. He could sell his drawings. Come on, draw commissions.
He could turn on the red light, sell his body to the night.
Roxanne.
I
I knew it was coming.
I think it was pretty great. I liked it. What about you, Karos?
I don't know. The ghoul fight at the end was very interesting. The entire ghoul cult But realizing, and I don't know if I can give it a very fair kind of once over when the first half is so distant that I thought it was a different chapter. I don't know. I'll say kind of middle of the road. Like,
I mean,
it wasn't bad by any means. And it definitely had some very gripping moments.
I'll
I mean,
give
it
it
does
a.
seem like it has basically two parts. One part getting to the hospital and getting the quest, and the second part completing the quest.
Is this
I
just
just,
Skyrim?
I mean, I shouldn't have put like 2 months between part 1 and part 2.
It was really 2 months.
I have no idea.
I
It was
think.
time.
I think it has been a month. I think it's been 4 weeks.
Good lord.
Well, we'll try to be more consistent, or we won't. This is a side
Yep.
project.
I think
Hey,
I'm gonna wait until I'm confident that we're actually going to be able to do it, and then I'll read the entire chapter
Gas.
all at
in
once.
five
Through it.
in 5 hours.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
I was thinking kind of 6.
Yas.
I enjoyed it. It was very enjoyable.
I'll put Yas down as an 8.
We need our own custom YOS rating system.
I mean, we
Like-
do have previous episodes, but I think he said it's enjoyable every time.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but I want something unique, like he gives it 2 kitten smiles over a goldfish or something. You know, something that can only be interpreted like in an esoteric manner.
This chapter makes me sad, Cloud.
This chapter was definitely smiling donut hole.
That's what Protege should give Murky. Every time Murky comes back, he's like, "Murky, today you get a gold star. Great job. Now go back to the stable. Here's your pistol. Here's your ammo. Kill all you find inside. Good luck."
What about some Radix?
That only lasts for 30 minutes. Fuck you, Murky. I don't know of a pill that lasts for 30 minutes. This irks me. Fuzzy, I need answers.
So, radiation is different and weird, strange. That being said, I think actual radiation medicine, like, because we have like real life equivalent to Rad-X, but yeah, the people who work in the Chernobyl area, who check the reactor for leaks and whatnot, make sure that nothing is getting through containment, they have to take anti-radiation medicine that kind of helps keep it out of their body. And I think it lasts for like a period of days, so I don't know. It might be like once a day, or maybe it's with every meal. I don't know. I saw something about it forever ago, but
Maybe if Murky. That's also another thing. So wait a minute. He has a bottle of Radix, right? If you have a bottle of Radix, that's why it lasts in game for 4 hours because it's multiple pills. Like in this case, is he just eating a single pill that a entire bottle contains?
okay. So there you go. He was only given 1 dose out of the entire bottle.
1 tablet. That would make sense considering like how hard it is to come across this kind of medication.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a weird thing in Fallout, considering that you pretty much just eat an entire bottle of pills.
I mean, it just works.
It does just work. He's also drinking Radaway. I always figured in Fallout, for Radaway, it was like an IV bag that you stuck into your arm. But he's just drinking it.
I mean, look, putting something into your stomach is basically the exact same thing as putting it directly into your bloodstream. And there's definitely no extra chemical reactions that could happen within the stomach that wouldn't happen normally in blood. Right?
Here you go, Murky. Drink your daily fruit juice. You need this to live.
I mean, in the original fanfic, they also consumed it. They said it tasted orangey and yucky.
Don't worry. My hate lasts between books.
Yeah, he's I don't know.
An elephant never forgets.
There you go.
When is Murky given a gun? Reminds me of the video of the kid running around the pool and the mom says, "What do you have?" "A knife." No.
Are elephants fall out Equestria canon?
I don't know.
I don't recall any elephants in general
Did they have
in
a?
MLP.
I know.
Did they had?
I'm just asking.
They had a Brahmin in Father Equestria, didn't they?
They did. It was a cow. It was a two-headed cow. And one head could speak and the other head was really slow. And could not speak.
Cute cow.
What if we just like set up an elaborate Rube Goldberg project with Murky?
Set up an elaborate Rube Goldberg what?
Project with Murky. Maybe that's what this book is. It's an elaborate Rube Goldberg project with Murky and sadness. Oh well, I think we've run out of content. Any final notes? Anything else?
I enjoyed it.
That is a good note to end on. Alright. Well, thank you folks, all two of you, considering our upload schedule, that are probably listening, which will be me in 2 tabs checking over the audio. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. We're probably just going to do this format from now on because it's just a lot easier. I enjoyed this format a lot more. Y'all suggested we just talk about what we want instead of trying to force ourselves to adhere to a schedule or a chronological order. Worked a lot better. This has been your host Vex Tosca, along with my host Kairos.
Why do you always wait for something?
Say something. Say your catchphrase.
I don't have a catchphrase.
All perfect. All right, and my other co-host Yas.
Howdy.